Finks Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Finks, their experienced staff specializes in brakes, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Finks is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Chesapeake, Virginia, 1650 AM WHKT presents Sports Scene. Sports Scene features local, regional, and nationally acclaimed guests and excellent interviews. Follow Sports Scene on Twitter at Greg Bick and at GJBTV.com. Now here is Greg Bickaveris.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us. January 8, 2014. Glad to be back on Sports Scene right here on 1650 News Talk, home of Glenn Beck and Laura Ingram. Excellent talk radio, CBS News at the top of the hour. This is Sports Scene. Hope everybody had a nice holiday season. Don't forget sports highlights also on nnpstv.com, an interview show that I host over there. Thank you to always our troops, our sponsors, listeners as well. You can tune in on tunein.com, type in WHKT 1650, along with Ken Johnson, Devontae Thomas, along for the ride right here on your talk radio station in Hampton Roads up until 1 o'clock. This is a local show with local, regional, and national guests. You can find me on Facebook at Greg Bickaveris, Twitter at Greg Bick, at Sports Highlight, at GJBTV. Also, thank you to all our sponsors on GJBTV.com, marketplace sponsors. Also, nnpstv.com. You can also find the show on YouTube. Go to GJBTV.com, hit the YouTube link for archive shows, and also find some on GJBTV.com. Sports Scene is an interview show, as is Sports Highlights, and we got some great guests today. Our featured guest, of course, is Mike Burnop, the radio analyst for Virginia Tech as well. And, of course, we'll come back with some highlights and random thoughts a little bit later. Sports Scene continues after these messages. Attention gun enthusiasts, your complete store for guns is at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Tom and the staff will assist you with tactical guns, custom AR builds, and they handle service and repair. Battlefield Guns and Ammo has specials, and they buy, sell, trade, consign, and do FFL transfers, and always look out for the military and the police. Log on to BattlefieldGunshop.com and call 410-7720. Open Monday through Saturday, this is your store for guns, ammo, and accessories. Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet. Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Finks Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Finks, their experienced staff specializes in brakes, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Finks is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
We are living in different times, and you know it. We're living in a time where you're going to feel outnumbered. You're going to feel alone. You're really not going to understand your country or your countrymen. Stay plugged in, and we have to lean on each other. And we have to open up our arms to anyone that doesn't want to be angry. Will still tell the truth.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Glenn Beck weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m. on K-Talk 1650. It's now time for Greg's Highlights on Sports Scene, presented by GJBTV.com Marketplace Sponsors page.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson. Glad you're with us right here for Sports Scene, right here. Some of the highlights right here, BCS final between Florida State and Auburn. Congratulations to Florida State for getting that big win, 34-31. Florida State 14-0 in the year, Auburn 12-2. My question is Auburn really the second best team with 2 losses? Congratulations to Jimbo Fisher. Also, don't forget the NFL playoffs going on. We'll give our thoughts on those a little bit later. All the coaching changes in the NFL. Redskins still looking for a head coach. Basketball's heating up both in college basketball and the NBA. Australian Open tennis, talk about down under. That's the place to be, all this hot heat there. And, of course, the bowl season is over, but overall it was a very good bowl season. With that thought, right here presented by Aunt Annie's in Greenbrier in Chesapeake. Go by and get a nice pretzel today. We welcome Mike Burnop, regular on Sports Scene, radio analyst for Virginia Tech football and basketball, played at Virginia Tech as well. Mike, welcome to Virginia Beach.
Good to be with you there, Greg. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too, my friend. What a busy 48 hours you've had. First of all, let's talk about last night in basketball. Syracuse and Jim Boeheim bring that zone, the vaunted zone, and beat Tech 72-52.
Yeah, it's they're the number 2 team in the country, and they really don't have any weaknesses. They had 4 guys that average in double figures, and they had 4 guys last night that scored in double figures. I mean, they don't turn the ball over very much, and they make you pay for your mistakes, and the zone is really, really good. And if you don't shoot the 3 ball well, which the Hokies did not last night, it makes it really, really difficult for you. And then the Hokies had a couple guys that weren't up to quite 100%. C.J. Barksdale's battling the flu, and Marshall Wood for the last couple of days. And then when you look at Adam Smith, he's still not at 100% with that calf injury. So Hokies a little undermanned right now, so it's a struggle.
Your team is 8-6, and talk about changes too. Not only is it going to be a brand new athletic director, brand new president, brand new quarterback next year. There's a lot of change going on right now at Virginia Tech. And switching gears to football, they started off the year very well at 6-1, but really dipped to 8-5. And some of those wins early, Mike, as you well know, were very close.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting. I mean, you look at the Marshall game. I mean, that could have gone either way, obviously, going to the overtimes like it did. So, yeah, it was kind of a weird season. It's really hard to put your fingers around how that thing, how it went. I mean, it was just kind of odd, especially being 6-1. You're thinking, okay, we're in great shape here. We're going to an open date, and the only loss we have is to Alabama, and we didn't really play that bad in the game. And then who would have thought that you would lose 2 out of 3 games at home, losing to Duke and then losing to Maryland? Golly, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you just can't figure it out, especially as well as they played at Miami. When you go on the road and win down there, which is always tough, and then you come back and lose to Maryland on senior day when the quarterback rushed for 122 yards, it's like, go figure. So fortunately they put it together and got UVA for the 10th time, so that makes Hokie fans very, very happy. But it was a strange season after that great start.
Absolutely. Talking to Mike Burnham. This is Greg Bicoveris. This is Sports Scene on the radio. Glad you're with us right here on 1650, the News Talk station, right here, talking to Mike Burnop as well. And Mike, you saw what happened with Mack Brown in Texas. He departed. They've got a brand new coach. Mack Brown used to coach North Carolina, as you well know. And, of course, Frank Beamer is beloved at Virginia Tech, been there since the head coach there since 1987. But he's been really in the mediocre zone the last several years. He's had a lot of coaching changes. The desire going forward, a brand new coach as far as coaching staff, a lot of new coaches. Kurt Newsom left as well. And, of course, a new AD, new president, brand new quarterback. How much more rebuilding can Frank Beamer technically do at this stage? You know, you saw how Joe Paterno left after all those years, and, of course, in a different fashion. But, like I said, Mack Brown left. Does Frank still have that desire to continue?
You know, I think when you look at it, Greg, I think at the start of this season when he was 6-1, he was feeling pretty good about everything. And then the second half of the season wore him down because you kind of scratch your head and try to figure out what happened. And so it is a little bit of a change, obviously. And I think, and I have no idea, but I would think that he'll coach for another maybe 2 years, and then maybe that would be the time to hang it up. But I think if it goes south and he has another bad year, it may come earlier. But I think he would much rather go out with a very good season as a mediocre season. So we'll have to wait and see. I do know this, that the recruiting class that they have, if they all sign, is going to be very, very good and very talented. And when you look at the offense for Virginia Tech, yes, you're losing Logan Thomas and Andrew Miller on offense, but that's about it offensively. So the offense ought to be better than it was this year if you get any kind of decent play out of your quarterback. Now, on defense, they're losing a lot of guys. I mean, they've got a lot of guys coming back as well, and a lot of young talent. But they got a chance again next year to probably do okay.
Mm-hmm. This is Sports Scene right here on 1650 AM News Talk. Find us on TuneIn.com. Type WHKT 1650. Greg Bicaveras, glad you're with us, along with Devontae Thomas and Ken Johnson, up until 1 o'clock right here on 1650 AM, talking to Mike Burnham, a regular on Sports Scene over the years. And, of course, you talk about football, and that game against UCLA was a national showcase game on CBS, and it was not a pretty picture either.
Well, I think if you lose your quarterback, who's your best player, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah.
And I would like to have seen what would happen had Logan been in there. You know, after you made that long run, when he just kind of shucked Miles Jack off his left shoulder and kind of got the sideline all fired up. Well, 2 plays later, you know, he got lit up and he was out of the game. So after the punt muff, you know, you got the ball in great field position. You know, you'd like your chances for Logan to pop in a touchdown there, and it's a tie game. But in spite of all that, it's 14-10 going to the fourth, and then, you know, then the wheels fell off the bus. I mean, Mark Leal threw the pick six, and he threw another interception. They gave up the long pass play, and it got out of hand. I mean, clearly in the fourth quarter it was a runaway. But still, if you have Calvin Klein in there, a tight end who got hurt early. If you had Logan in there, you know, who knows what might have happened. I think I would have liked the chances much better. But when you look at the final score, yeah, it did look like it did get out of hand, and the Hokies had a real struggle trying to move the ball with Mark Leal in there. But the defense didn't play great either, Greg. I mean, when you look at the first half and what Brett Hundley was able to do running, I mean, he was unbelievable. They couldn't tackle the guy.
Right.
So it wasn't just the offense that did a poor job in the game. Bud was pretty upset with his defense after the game.
Right, talking to Mike Burnham right here on 1650 AM News Talk. Final few moments, and we know about Trey Edmonds and Dimitri Knowles, and of course Logan Thomas is moving on. I was a big fan of Logan. I thought he was a big prototypical quarterback, strong arm. Didn't pan out the last 2 years the way he thought it was going to be. But really, is Mark Leal the future of Virginia Tech, Mike?
I don't know. You know, I think when the new guys come in, one will be coming in here in the next week or so with the winter classes starting, and the other one will be here in the summer. So I think the competition's wide open. I think when you look at Mark Leal, I mean, he's been around the program. That's a tough spot. I mean, you can tell the kid all day long, Greg, that, hey, look, you're one play away, but you never believe it, especially Logan, because he never got hurt. And then all of a sudden you're throwing him in on that stage in the bowl game. That's a tough spot to be in, especially knowing the defense is going to come after you. So I thought he had a good spring, and you look at him in the spring game, he was better than Logan in the spring game when Logan threw 3 interceptions. So he's got a lot of work to do, obviously. He's paid his dues. You know, I hope he can do it. But if not, the competition is going to be there. You got a couple big kids coming in that have a lot of talent, and the one that goes through spring practice is clearly going to have the upper hand.
Yeah, that's one thing I respect about Virginia Tech and Frank Beamer, and of course the athletic department there is Virginia Tech does not talk any junk at all. It's like all the hype the Redskins had in preseason in Richmond, all this hype going to Richmond. And what are the Redskins doing? They don't have a coach. They have a team in disarray right now, and UVA is the same way. Their coaching staff is in disarray. A couple of them already left to go to Connecticut, and their schedule is going to be tough. But next year, Mike, Virginia Tech's schedule is going to be tough as well.
Yeah, it will. I mean, open up with William and Mary and then going on the road to play Ohio State is. But you don't have to play Florida State and you don't have to play Clemson in the regular season. So those are certainly 2 pluses. And UVA, when you look at the way they're going to open up against UCLA, so we've seen them up close and personal.
Sure.
So, you know, there are issues, clearly. I mean, the kicking game this year was an absolute disaster in the field goal department as the Hokies went to kicker number 4 in the Sun Bowl and missed like 11 field goals over the course of the year. I mean, that's just unacceptable. So they've got work to do in all phases, without doubt, Greg.
Yeah, final question about basketball. Of course, we know about Jarrell Eddy and Marshall Wood. We said the team is 8-6 in the ACC. The ACC is tougher now with Syracuse in it as well, and of course all the other tough teams like Wake Forest, North Carolina, Duke, and NC State. And of course, it seems like Tech could use Del Curry and Ace Custis. But let me ask you this though, Mike, and I've seen a lot of Tech games over the years up close and personal too. There's a lot of Tech alumni around here. It seemed like to me, and of course I know you went to Tech and, you do the games. But it seemed like, out of due respect to the athletic director, Mr. Weaver, it seemed like that was a quick judgment to get James Johnson. I'm not sure, Mike, if he's the right man to lead Tech in the future. It doesn't seem like the attendance is improving. The team is not winning a whole lot, and he doesn't have that charisma or personality that Seth Greenberg did or Frank Beamer. It's hard to compare, but it just doesn't seem like Tech's basketball team is in a state of not moving, kind of stagnant almost.
Well, I think you got to give him time. I mean, when he gets his players in here, it'll certainly help. You look at Malik Mueller, who's sitting out this year. I mean, he was going to be a real plus. I mean, he'd be the best guard on the team. And he's got to sit out because of transfer rules and whatnot and academics and that sort of thing. So I think you got to give J.J. a chance. The players love him. He works them hard in practice. He demands a lot out of them. He doesn't put up with a lot of crap. That's why you see some guys have left the program.
Sure.
So I think he can get the job done. It's just a matter of giving him a little time, letting him get his players in here, and then see what he can do.
Right.
But you got guys here now that you would expect that need to bring it every night, and they're not. Like Jarrell Eddy last night, for example. I mean, he's a senior on your team that scored 6 points, and he was 2 for 9 shooting. I mean, you need to have consistent play out of these guys night in and night out. And if you don't get it, it's going to be really difficult to win when one of your best players, your leading scorer, averaging over 17, gets 6. It's going to make it really difficult. So I think you got to give him a little bit of a chance here. And when he came in, it was pretty much in disarray. So
sure was.
Because when Seth left, there were no assistants left.
Yeah.
So.
And he was an assistant with Seth at one point, too.
He was, and then he took the job at Clemson, and then Jim Weaver called him up and said, you want to come back and be the coach. And I think that was done in partly to try to keep a little bit of the continuity that they had and keep a guy like Eric Green around.
Mm-hmm. And Virginia Tech's got Boston College, Clemson, Notre Dame coming up. And good luck, Mike. Always a pleasure. We'll talk to you very soon. Consider you a friend, and always thank you for all that you do in radio throughout the state. You got it, Greg. Take care, and all the best to you guys down there. Hey, final question. How's the weather been up in Blacksburg? Colder than a witch's you-know-what. It was -5 here yesterday morning, but this morning it was up to 5, so we're going to get up maybe to 34 today. All right. Great day. Stay away from that moonshine, though, Mike. All right. There you go, buddy. All right. Have a good one. Okay, my friend. See you, Greg. All right. Mike Burnip right there. Great guy, radio analyst for Virginia Tech football and basketball. So when we get the elite guests right here on Sports Scene on 1650 AM News Talk, a lot of Virginia Tech alumni in this area. Stay tuned. We'll be back for Sports Scene after these messages.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Finks Car Care is your place for all of your automotive needs. They handle state inspections, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, transmission service, radiator repair. They have a wide variety of tires, and when it comes to your car, they do it all. Visit their 2 locations at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth and 2236 South Military Highway in Chesapeake. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Attention gun enthusiasts, your complete store for guns is at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Tom and the staff will assist you with tactical guns, custom AR builds, and they handle service and repair. Battlefield Guns and Ammo has specials, and they buy, sell, trade, consign, and do FFL transfers, and always look out for the military and the police. Log on to BattlefieldGunshop.com and call 410-7720. Open Monday through Saturday, this is your store for guns, ammo, and accessories. Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake.
A federal judge ruled that the NSA's secret collection of cell phones and internet activity is unconstitutional. And then another federal judge ruled that the NSA's secret collection of cell calls and internet activity is constitutional. Well, that clears that up, doesn't it? I'll tell you what both sides are saying, and I'll let you know what I think. And I'll give you plenty of legal advice, which, no secret here, is marginal at best.
Handle on the Law, Saturdays, 5 to 8 p.m. on K-Talk 1650. let's get back to Greg Bicoveris and Sports Scene on 1650 WHKT.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson, along with Devontae Thomas. Greg Bicoveris, glad you're with us for Sports Scene right here, presented by GJBTV.com, Spaghetti Eddie's, the marketplace sponsors on Annie's, the Newport News Greek Festival coming up May 29th to June 1st. Don't forget that. Hope everybody's staying warm. But you know what? The sun does help. Thank goodness we have the sun, and the weather looks really warm coming up this weekend in Hampton Roads. So I think the worst is behind us. But compared to other parts of the country, no snow, no ice, no rain. We really are lucky. Hope you enjoyed that nice interview by Mike Burnup, the radio analyst for Virginia Tech as well. And remember, all the shows are archived on YouTube.com. Go to GJBTV.com, see the YouTube link. This will be archived within 24 hours after the show. Also, Greg Bick on Twitter, Sports Highlight on Twitter, GJBTV on Twitter. Shout out to my buddy Hank out there. Also, of course, the Sam Huff on Twitter, Ron, all the great listeners of Sports Scene, and all of you in Hampton Roads and throughout the state listening on the Powerhouse 1650 AM News Talk. Let's get to some thoughts right here coming up before our next guest.
What tees you off? Presented by GJBTV.com.
All right, what tees me off right here is, of course, the college uniforms. You look at Oregon, Ohio State, Baylor, Virginia, North Carolina. I hope they learn from Alabama, Oklahoma, Penn State, Notre Dame as far as proper uniforms. And, of course, the lines at banks. Have you noticed there's never seems to be enough tellers at the banks anymore? It's all about the drive-through, and the same thing for a restaurant. You can go in, the counter is totally empty, but the drive-through is wrapped around like for a mile, and you're wondering, it takes 2 seconds to go in and get your order. But, hey, look, people do count when they go inside as well. And, of course, restaurants, although you might be in a rush to turn over the table, most patrons want a hot meal, relax, and take their time, especially during dinner. Spellings of people's last name. 4 people on my Facebook page got me confused with a relative that I haven't talked to barely in 20 years. My last name is spelled Bicouvaris. My mother was the National Teacher of the Year in 1989. You can Google it, and I've been in radio and TV since I've been 19. So again, thank you for knowing how to spell people's names properly. Of course, also, if you don't care, that's one thing, but be kind to your fellow patron. It's a lot easier to be nice to somebody than be rude or arrogant, especially with the weather being the way it is. Be kind and gentle. Those are my thoughts. Just like a few weeks ago, it was empathy and etiquette toward your fellow man. All right, our next guest, of course, is with the Norfolk Admirals. We carry their games on the radio for the rest of the year, hopefully in the future as well, right here on 1650 AM News Talk, your home for CBS News, and my buddy Ken Johnson doing the news updates in the morning as well. Right here, we've got the PR director for the Norfolk Admirals, Alex Reed. Alex, welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're going to talk to you for about a few minutes and take a break with CBS News and come right back to Alex. And let's give us an update with the Admirals, of course, right now, 18-12, 1-4. They've got Portland coming up this weekend as well as Worcester as well.
Yeah, it's another one of those typical minor league hockey weekends when a team goes on the road where you're playing 3 games in 3 days in 3 different cities. So it's always a tough schedule, but every team has to do them, and it is going to start in Portland, and then the team will take on Worcester there on Saturday, and then close things out against the top team in the conference on Sunday against Springfield. So it can be very tough, and it's always important for teams that when they go on the road facing a 3 games and 3 day slate is to really get a good start, because when you get to Sunday afternoon after traveling the night before to that next city and the game starts to wear on, sometimes the road legs and fatigue starts to set in. So it's always easier to get the points early in the weekend. It's never easy, but it's a tough task ahead. But the Admirals have been playing well lately.
Sure. We're talking to Alex Reed, the PR director for the Norfolk Admirals. Greg Bicoveris, glad you're with us. This is 1650 AM News Talk, your home for CBS News. We're going to have a CBS News update in just a minute real quick. But I guess I'm the one who told you about the radio making the change. And, of course, it's nice to have the radio network expand to 1650 AM.
Oh, no, we're extremely thrilled, and I know that our fans are as well. We just to be able to have the games here broadcast here on the south side of Hampton Roads, and it is really nice as well to have that signal. And I know we got some great feedback the other night from some fans saying, "Oh, I could listen to the post-game show after the game. It was really great," and they really enjoyed it. So, I mean, anytime you can expand your radio network, now we have 2 great stations, and this is fantastic, and it's just only going to better serve our fan base and the local community here.
All right, Alex, thanks a lot. Hold on for 1 second. Don't go nowhere.
I'm Steve Kathan. After several days of dangerous cold, Chicago's getting a bit back to normal today.
Today I'm ready. I got to get back to work. She got to get back to school and back to reality.
The reality is it's still cold in Chicago, but conditions are improving. That's the story in the Midwest and East as the polar vortex begins to ease. CBS's Jeff Pegues says still airlines have canceled more than 1,000 flights today.
The weather is improving, and so as that happens, the airlines will be able to get back to more normal schedules.
This man from the Netherlands has been stranded in Detroit since last weekend.
It's wearing the same underpants for 4 days in a row. I don't know where to wear them inside out. It's just, I want to get hold of my luggage.
In frigid Ligonier, Pennsylvania, pizza shop owner Tom Wincoop is not just delivering food, but also medicine to elderly customers.
Take care of one another. We need to get back to the basics and do what's right for your neighbor.
CBS News Update. I'm Steve Kathan.
Let's get back to Greg Bigoveris and Sports Scene on 1650 WHKT.
And don't forget, Sports Scene's heard every Wednesday during a convenient time to be on the radio, 12 to 1, every Wednesday right here. Lock it down right here on your home for CBS News in Hampton Roads, 1650 AM News Talk. For more, log on to gjbtv.com. Support the marketplace sponsors. Talking to Alex Reed, the marketing director for the Admirals. And, of course, you talk about the team overall. How's the team been? I know a few years ago they did win the Calder Cup.
Yeah, there's no doubt that was an exciting time for everybody. A remarkable team at that. You know, they had the 28-game win streak, which is a North American hockey record overall. Got a lot of national attention, and, of course, they finished that season off winning the Calder Cup championship, and a fantastic team indeed. And then last season, team just kind of fell a little short of its goals, you know, and I know that's been the not reaching the playoffs, and I know that this year that's been the focus is this team, you know, making that push to make the playoffs. I know our coaching staff's been working really hard to make certain of that, and looking at the team, you know, so far so good. You know, you mentioned the record, 18-12, 1-4. We're third right now in the East Division, a very competitive East Division, but we're only 4 points back of first place Binghamton. So the team's certainly in the mix. They're you know, been playing well here as of late, especially at home with a 3-game winning streak.
And hockey is a wintertime sport. This is when it excels. You know, a lot of people in the South didn't grow up with that, more of a football, basketball, baseball, but the Admirals are 25 years in Hampton Roads. That speaks for itself.
It really does. I mean, it's hard to believe. You know, I remember growing up here in the area and going to the games the early days of the team, and yeah, I mean, there's no doubt about it. And this team, you know, wouldn't have been around 25 years if it wasn't for the support of the area and a passionate fan base, and we're really fortunate to have that. And you know, and our team gives back to the community as well. I think it's been a relationship with this team and the Hampton Roads community that's, I mean, obviously it's worked out really well, being this being our 25th season.
And you played at the Scope all these years as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I was talking with the original Admiral, Dennis McEwen, and, you know, we were talking about the Norfolk Scope, which has been our home and for all 25 years. And, you know, he says the facility's got a lot of personality, a lot of character, and a lot of memories have been made here. I mean, the team's won 4 championships total in the 25 years, and, you know, a lot of big games, a lot of big moments in many different areas of the sport. So it's been great.
My buddy Ken Johnson always talks about reminiscing. We talked about Joe Falks doing the weather years ago in the 70s on Channel 13, but the Scope also hosted the Virginia Squires during that same time, as well as the Hampton Coliseum. So a lot of nostalgia. The MEAC tournament's there. The circus is there. So it really is a multi-purpose facility. And, of course, Alex, your offices are right there, too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
right in the downstairs part of it. We don't have any windows in the office right now. So I was listening to the weather report that you guys had a minute ago. I'm like, okay, it's great to know that because we can't always tell what's going on out there. But no, this is a multi-purpose event. A venue. There's concerts, sporting events. I know that the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, the MEAC, is going to have their basketball tournament here in March when March Madness rolls around. So a lot of big things planned here for the building, and it's been a great service, for entertainment in the area for many years now.
Yeah, and Blake Cullen, Joe Gregory, of course, and all the people putting it on the map right there. And, of course, I had Ian Locke on Sports Highlights on nnpstv.com. Of course, you guys are affiliated with the Tides as well, and we did some marketing for you guys. It's on the December and January shows on nnpstv.com that had Ian Locke on as well as this month as well. And we appreciate all that you do as far as radio and TV, because you guys are all about cross promotions, as you well know, with the Tides, but also with the radio and TV stations in Hampton Roads.
Yeah, and that's so important. It's so important for sports teams and a lot of organizations to get involved with not only just the local community, but the local media outlets as well. And it's called a partnership, and to be able to help one another out in servicing this great area, that's what we're all about. And I think it's just always a good partnership, no doubt about that. To provide promotion for all of our media partners, such as you guys, and we appreciate what you do for us. To getting the word out, letting the fans know what we have going on here, not only at Scope, but with the Admirals and in the Tides as well.
Well, good luck the rest of the way. We'll talk to you down the road here. And, of course, Admirals are now on 1650 AM News Talk, and glad you're with us, of course. Alex, have a good rest of the week, my friend, and thank you for being on Sports Scene today.
Oh, anytime, Greg. Certainly appreciate it. You take care.
My pleasure. Okay, Alex Reed right there, the director of PR. Let's go to a caller. We'll take one. Hank, before we go to our break. Hank, you're on Sports Scene. What's up, buddy?
Hey, Greg. How you doing,
good.
Sir?
Happy New Year to you, my friend.
Yeah, same to you, pal. Sounds like you're falling right into place, man. You sound great.
I appreciate it. It's always good to hear from you. Also on Twitter, I know you're a big supporter as well of Talk Radio and Hampton Roads. And what were your thoughts overall about that national championship game the other night?
I think Auburn proved that they belonged. Jameis Winston kind of looked like a freshman quarterback all of a sudden. Yeah, they made some plays down at the end to win the game. But I don't know. To me, it seemed as if he got tentative throughout the game,
Right. And, of course, I said one thing a few weeks ago. I know you're a big Cowboys fan, that, Jerry Jones takes a lot of heat. But one thing is he's transparent. He tells it like it is. Garrett's coming back next year. He does not just get rid of a coach after panic. The Cowboys do not panic. And that's one thing about Jones. He does not panic like a lot of these owners do. And, of course, a lot of coaching changes in the NFL. But he is consistent. And, one thing about it, the Cowboys have been in it, and that's more than a lot of teams can say.
Well, you know what, Greg? Thanks for acknowledging that. I know as a Redskin fan, that's rare that, people come out that way. Yeah, you know what? I'd rather be involved in it 3 years in a row. And I was actually proud of the way my team played against the Eagles in spite of the loss. I mean, our defense really stepped up. And I'm going to tell you what, next year the NFC East is going to be a three-team battle. I actually think that the Redskins are going to be a surprise team. I think they're going to play well. I think Griffin is going to be somewhere between what he was last year and what he was this year. If he could just not be spectacular but make smart decisions from the pocket and kind of maintain himself, I think they'll be fine.
And one thing, too, I want to say this. I did work for the Redskins' own radio station for 6.5 years, but I want to say this, and I said it when I worked over there as well. I've always been neutral. When I was a kid, I liked the Dolphins and the Redskins. Now I like all 32 teams the same. But, again, Jerry Jones asked those reporters, are you going to be back next year? How many people, when you go on your job, do you ask the restaurant cook, are you going to be back next year? He had a great point. It's really nobody's business.
You know what, Greg? But you keep saying he made a great point, and he. But that's the problem. Jerry Jones, the owner, is the out front, de facto everything for the Cowboys, including the draft. So that's the problem. He needs to take a gigantic ego step back and get a GM that knows football and understands the draft. If you look, half his players are from the Big 12. You know what? Going back to the Florida State thing while I have this on my mind, if that team would have played in the SEC, they would not have been in the national championship game. Auburn proved that, you know what, they might not have got them, but somewhere down the line, somebody in the SEC would have gotten Florida State.
And I knocked Auburn because they lost to LSU. But, Hank, thank you so much, my friend, and we look forward to talking to you soon. All right. Thanks a lot, Hank, right there for calling in. Always a pleasure. You can find Hank on Twitter as well. Greg Bicoveris, this is Sports Scene right here, 1650 AM. News Talk along with Devontae Thomas, Ken Johnson. We've had Mike Burnap on and Alex Reed. We're going to have Steve Showalter talking a little skiing after these messages right here on Sports Scene.
Finks Car Care is your place for all of your automotive needs. They handle state inspections, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, transmission service, radiator repair. They have a wide variety of tires, and when it comes to your car, they do it all. Visit their 2 locations at 2711 Victory Boulevard in Portsmouth and 2236 South Military Highway in Chesapeake. For more, log on to finkscarcare.com and call 545-3573.
Attention gun enthusiasts, your complete store for guns is at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Tom and the staff will assist you with tactical guns, custom AR builds, and they handle service and repair. Battlefield Guns and Ammo has specials, and they buy, sell, trade, consign, and do FFL transfers, and always look out for the military and the police. Log on to BattlefieldGunshop.com and call 410-7720. Open Monday through Saturday, this is your store for guns, ammo, and accessories. Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Tidewater is a fishing paradise, but if you want the best places to go and the best methods to catch the best fish, you don't want to miss Fishing Tidewater with Captain Don Lancaster every Saturday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on AM 1650. The award-winning Fishing Tidewater provides the latest news for anglers, updates on tournaments, where you can find the best boats and equipment, and where to find the big ones. You can also call in and tell some big ones. Fishing Tidewater with Captain Don Lancaster every Saturday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on K-Talk 1650. Let's get back to Greg Bicoveris and Sports Scene on 1650 WHKT.
And we'll be doing a lot more calls next week with Dave Kane, the voice of Virginia, and we hope to have some other great guests. We've had over the years, we've had Lefty Drizel, we've had Sweet Pea Whitaker, Mike Burnap, so many different great guests over the years on Sports Scene, also on Sports Highlights on nnpstv.com as well. Looking forward to that. I'm also going to be at the NC State Duke game next week. Looking forward to that with CBS as well. So a lot of stuff going on. This is basketball season pretty much now, but NFL playoffs are still high and high. But a great hobby, a great activity is skiing, snow tubing, and a good friend of mine, known him for several years over at Massanutten, Steve Showalter, the general manager. Steve, welcome to Hampton Roads. Welcome to Virginia Beach.
Thanks very much. I enjoy being a guest today.
Always a pleasure. First of all, how's the weather in Massanutten right now?
Well, it's just a little chilly. Yesterday when I came to work, it was -4 here at the ski office, -6 at the top. Today warmed up a little bit. When I walked in, it was 6 degrees.
Very good, very good. But I guess a couple layers, but you do get some exercise, obviously, going up the hill to snow tube and also skiing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. If you if you layer your clothes on properly and dress appropriately, we had quite a few people that came out Monday night for Monday Night Madness when it was hovering near zero, and then we've had good crowds today. So today was a college special day, so a lot of the college kids are up and about today.
And I've been all over the state. I'll tell you, on the top of the snow tubing there, Steve, that is one of the most beautiful scenes throughout the entire state of Virginia.
Yeah, that's quite a view from up there. I mean, a lot of people just, aren't skiers, and we're happy to provide the snow tubing for them, and they get a nice view of the surrounding mountains and then out through the valley. So, yeah, it's quite a view.
And your website is massresort.com, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
What other amenities are going on at Massanutten? I know you've been there for several decades.
Yeah, when I first started here, we just had skiing, and then it was skiing and snowboarding, and then it was ski, snowboard, and tube, and now we have an indoor water park, and it's supposed to warm up a little bit this weekend, so there will be some people that ski in the morning and play golf in the afternoon.
Yeah, and of course, this is even more accelerated, too, with the excitement because the Winter Olympics are next month in Russia.
Yeah, everybody's really excited about that. In fact, one of our suppliers, our SMI snow gun manufacturer, they did the whole snowmaking venue for that Sochi game. So we've gotten to see some slideshows, and they've been going back and forth over there now for several years getting that all in operation. So we have some of the same equipment here on our mountain, so that's going to be exciting for me to watch the Olympics.
Who knows, you might see your next Lindsey Vonn out there at Massanutten, but she's, of course, out for the Olympics. But one thing about that young lady is that she had her best 4 years ago. She won a gold medal. And Steve, by seeing skiers your entire life, that's not easy to do any time back-to-back for 4 years.
No, absolutely not. I mean, skiing is it's all about, your fitness and your ability to stay balanced and focused, and it's really hard to do that, a span of 8 years. So you're exactly right on that one.
And of course, you got classes for kids as well too, and it's not something you can do like once a year and expect to perfect, because you do get off balance a lot, and that's only natural. But I guess like anything else, the more the merrier, right?
Absolutely. Quit your guessing and take a lesson. That's what I always tell everybody. So, this is Learn to Ski and Snowboard Month. So this month we're featuring Monday through Thursday our Pathway package, which gives you 4 hours of skiing, 4 hours of rentals, and 2 one-hour lessons. So it's a great opportunity to learn to ski, and it's a big $20 savings from the regular $79 price. It's only $59. So it's a great time to learn to ski and snowboard.
And a lot of people from our area, Hampton Roads, do come up to Massanutten. It's just a beautiful area. Finally, give us your website and food for thought, your hours as well.
Yeah, we're website again is massresort.com. Our hours are 9 to 9 Sunday through Thursday. Then Friday and Saturday we're open 9 a.m. till 10 p.m. And so that's what we got going for us here on the mountain. Our most visited web page on our website is the webcam.
Oh.
So go onto our website, go to Snow Sports, down to webcam, and then you can see what's going on here every hour of the day.
And with all the different apps now, it makes it even more fun. But I tell you one thing, Steve, there's nothing like being there in person. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's, you can look at it, but until you get here and strap that ski or snowboard on, you're not having a lot of fun.
Well, I've had him on radio and TV before in the past. Always a great guest, Steve Showalter. Steve, we look forward to seeing you soon, my friend.
All right, my friend. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. My pleasure as well. Steve Showalter right there from Massanutten. Great wintertime activity. People are always asking what to do besides go to dinner, go to a movie, go for an exercise, whatever. But I tell you, snow tubing is a lot of fun. You don't have to be a skier. You get on a big inner tube, you go down the hill. It's fun for the whole family, kids, whatever. You get some exercise, you get off the couch as well. I'm going to give you my thoughts real quick on the NFL before our next guest as well, Miss Deb Valez for Engineering for Kids. We got 4 big games going on this weekend. I'm going to give you my picks. Devontae was asking me who am I going to pick for the Super Bowl. I am going to wait before it gets to the actual game before we do that. All right, first of all, on Fox, New Orleans at Seattle, I am going with the home team. Seattle, I think they've had a week's rest. They beat New Orleans before. They will beat the Saints again. All right, also, you have the Colts, a dome team, against the Patriots Saturday night on CBS. Dan Dierdorf's last game for CBS, working for Greg Gumbel. I really like the Colts. I think they're the dark horse, but I think the Patriots are not going to take them for granted, and I think they will win in a close one, although my heart is with the Colts. All right, Sunday, closer to home here, 49ers in Carolina, Cam Newton, who also did very well when he played at Auburn as well. I still think the 49ers are too much. The weather won't be a factor. It'll actually be nice in Charlotte this weekend. I think the 49ers will win. And finally, the Sunday cap with Jim Nantz and Phil Simms, the Chargers and the Broncos. They split during the regular season. I think Denver with the week off, the way they played against the Ravens last year and lost, I think Manning and Denver will be too much for the Chargers, although the Chargers had a great, great year. All right, our next guest is going to be Miss Deb Valez from Engineering for Kids. And Deb is right here close by in the Western Branch area on Sports Scene. Deb, welcome.
Thank you, Greg. It's nice to be here.
Very good. Let's talk about some of the things as well. And the mission for Engineering for Kids is inspire the next generation of engineers. And, of course, statistics show the earlier the better for influence. And, of course, kids from ages 4 to 14 learn a lot from Lego, Mindstorm Robotics, We Do Robotics, electronic game design, and other types of engineering such as aerospace, environmental, electrical, civil, etc. And, of course, Engineering for Kids covers all that.
Yes, it does. And we have our schedule up on our website at engineeringforkids.net so parents can see the classes. And also our spring camps are on the website for registration.
Absolutely. Of course, you have after-school, homeschool, evenings and Saturdays, parties, camps for spring and summer breaks, Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. And their new learning center is next to the PetSmart at Chesapeake Square and remote locations around Hampton Roads. You can see their link on gjbtv.com. Go to the marketplace sponsors, and you see the nice logo for Engineering for Kids. Well, how did you get involved in this? You are a former military person. Thank you for all that you did for our country as well.
Thank you. I retired with 20 years of service, and then I taught for a few years and worked at Joint Forces Command in concept development and experimentation. So that influenced me a bit, but also my mother was the mathematician for Chuck Yeager when his team was working to break the speed of sound. And my father was a civil engineer and also retired from the Air Force as a navigator and meteorologist. So I grew up as his shadow, following him around. And I've always wanted to do something for children and in a business for my own, and this was just a perfect fit.
Engineeringforkids.net/location Hampton Roads. Their phone number is 641-4833. That's 641-4833. They're located right on Portsmouth Boulevard, not too far from the radio station at 4300 Portsmouth Boulevard. We're talking to Deb Valles, owner of Engineering for Kids of Hampton Roads. What else should kids know? We're in the first quarter of the year. It's a good time to enroll, right, for some classes?
It's a great time to enroll, and it'll provide a lot of reinforcement for some of the things the kids are learning during the school year. We have everything matched to what the SOLs are and the national standards in science. So it'll be a good reinforcement for them, get them excited about science and math.
And this is like an additional supplement to going to school during the day. They have this to look forward to as an activity for their parents to get involved in as well.
That's right. At our birthday parties, the parents seem to want to get in on the action more, just as much as the kids. They've even asked for parent classes. And our classes are not teacher-centered. The majority of the time is spent with hands-on exploration and learning.
Mm-hmm. And your email is hamptonroads@engineeringforkids.net. Talking to Deb Valles. And Deb, give us a final thought about your business.
Well, our goal, as you said earlier, is to inspire the next generation of engineers. I'm looking for ways to partner with other people and organizations to do that. So if your listeners have any ideas, please let me know.
How about your Facebook page?
We do. We have our Facebook page, and it's growing every day. So please take a look at that, and it's at there's a link to it on our website.
Engineering for Kids. All right, engineeringforkids.net. Thanks a lot, Deb. All the best to you, and have a great rest of the week.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. All right, Deb Valles right there, the owner, and that's what it's all about, folks. The kids in the future in engineering, math, science, it's so important. Give her a call at 641-4833. If you got a kid between 4 and 14, they can definitely benefit from Engineering for Kids Learning Center as well. And, of course, we're going to take our final break, wrap up Sports Scene. Next week, we're going to have Dave Kane on, the voice of Virginia, talk more football stuff as well. We've got great guests today, so we'll take a break for Sports Scene and be back after these messages on your home for CBS News.
Finks Car Care, with locations in Chesapeake and Portsmouth, is your dedicated Tire Stars dealer. At Finks, their experienced staff specializes in brake, steering, suspension, tune-ups, oil changes, and much more. They also handle rebuilt engines and transmissions, and they're your destination for tires, rims, and towing as well. Finks is located at 2236 South Military Highway at 2711 Victory Boulevard. For more information, log on to finkscarcare.com or call 545-3573.
Nor'easter season is here, so don't get all wet.
Protect your house. Call Crawl Space Door Systems at 363-0005. Reduce your flood insurance, reduce the threat of mold and insects, and save energy. Crawl Space Doors, air vents, flood vents, vent covers, and fans can help you stay dry or get you dry quickly. Contact Crawl Space Doors for more information at 363-0005 or online at crawlspacedores.com. Stay dry, my friends.
Attention gun enthusiasts, your complete store for guns is at 240 North Battlefield Boulevard in Chesapeake. Tom and the staff will assist you with tactical guns, custom AR builds, and they handle service and repair. Battlefield Guns and Ammo has specials, and they buy, sell, trade, consign, and do FFL transfers, and always look out for the military and the police. Log on to BattlefieldGunshop.com and call 410-7720. Open Monday through Saturday, this is your store for guns, ammo, and accessories. Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake.
We are living in different times, and you know it. We're living in a time where you're going to feel outnumbered. You're going to feel alone. You're really not going to understand your country or your countrymen. Stay plugged in, and we have to lean on each other. And we have to open up our arms to anyone that doesn't want to be angry. Will still tell the truth.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Glenn Beck weekdays, 3 to 6 p.m. on K-Talk 1650. Now back to Sports Scene on 1650 AM WHKT.
All right, thank you very much, Ken Johnson, right here on Sports Scene, an interview show right here, also sports highlights on nnpstv.com, 1650 AM News Talk, home of Glenn Beck, Laura Ingram, excellent talk radio, CBS News at the top of the hour as well. And, of course, you're home for the Norfolk Admirals. Great guest today, Mike Burnop, radio analyst for Virginia Tech football and basketball, giving us some insight on Tech's program. Alex Reed, the PR director for the Norfolk Admirals. Steve Showalter talking about winter sports and Massanutten. And Deb Valles talking about education with engineeringforkids.net. And you talk about the bowl season. And, of course, congratulations again to Jimbo Fisher and Florida State for winning. And that was not easy for Florida State. You know, their coach, their former coach, Bowden, lost his grandson recently, and that was not easy. You saw him there with the coin toss with Bo Jackson, but that was not an easy situation for Florida State. Much needed win. Fisher also at one time was an assistant with Auburn as well. So it was a nice win. Florida State 14-0. Auburn goes 12-2. My opinion, though, until you have that selection of four teams really finding out who the champion is, like the NFL playoffs, that's when you'll really find out who the best team is. Although, to me, flat out, Florida State was the best team in the country this year. Recapping the bowls, the SEC went 7-3 in bowls. The ACC, no, Virginia, you were not in the bowl. You went 5-6. And the Big Ten, a team that my dad followed since 1951, Ohio State, they went 2-5, the Big Ten. Ouch. Maryland joining the Big Ten next year, as Lefty Driesell said a few weeks ago, doesn't make sense, but the Big Ten, 2-5. And, of course, some great college basketball games last night. Syracuse beat Virginia Tech 72-52, and Michigan State beat Ohio State 72-68. And in the background, they were saying, just like football, because Michigan State beat Ohio State. And I'll tell you an interesting story about Woody Hayes next week, that my dad and I, we met him in June of 86, prior to him passing away in March of 87, the legendary former Ohio State coach. I'll talk about that next week. We'll have Dave Kane, the voice of Virginia. Again, I want to thank our guest today, Mike Burnop, the voice of Virginia Tech. Also, Alex Reed with the Norfolk Admirals, Steve Showalter with Massanutten Ski Resort, Deb Valles for engineeringforkids.net on Annie's, and, of course, the Greenbrier Mall. Also, our great sponsors, Spaghetti Eddie's, Fink's Car Care, also Battlefield Guns and Ammo in Chesapeake, Crawl Space Doors, Sports Scene Promo, and the GJBTV.com marketplace sponsors. Thank you to my excellent producers, Ken Johnson, Devontae Thomas, for all they do 7 days a week, 24/7, for making this station run right here. So for Ken and Devontae and the great guests, I'm Greg Bickaveris. For more, log on to